Welcome to the History on Screen channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. An American Marine extends his hand to help a woman emerging from a cave in Saipan. In July 1944, the island was the scene of intense fighting during the Pacific Campaign. The record documents the encounter between military forces and civilians hidden in natural shelters. Members of the Illinois Women's Athletic Club enjoy the sun on a building terrace in 1926, showing women's growing pursuit of health and physical freedom in the 20s. The Chicago Record highlights urban architecture in the background as the athletes enjoy a shared moment of leisure. Communist revolutionary Eugen Leviné faces the execution formation in Munich during the fall of the Bavarian Soviet Republic. In June 1919, the Central German government used Freikorps units to suppress the socialist uprising. The event marked a tense point in the unstable Weimar Republic. Belgian coins bent by the impact of a projectile bear witness to an event during World War I. The soldier was carrying the objects in his pocket when he was hit, and the metal absorbed the force of the shot, preserving his physical integrity on the battlefield in a rare survival case. Sergeant John Parks appears in a record captured during the Allied advance in Europe in 1944. As a tank commander in the 4th Division, he embodies the challenges faced on the battlefields. Soon afterward, his unit would take part in decisive fighting. This composition records the actions of Father Luis Padilla during the armed crisis known as El Porteñazo in Venezuela. On June 2, 1962, the chaplain gave aid amid tensions at the Puerto Cabello base. The record captured by Hector Rondon Olivares won the World Press Photo Award that year. A child sits among debris holding her doll after an air raid in London during the Blitz. In 1940, the British capital endured constant attacks that struck residential and civilian areas. The documentary record emphasizes the social impact and the population's resilience in the face of material damage. On December 27, 1983, Pope John Paul II made a historic gesture of reconciliation by visiting the Rebibbia prison complex in Rome. He met with Mehmet Ali Agca, the man who had tried to attack him 2 years earlier, to offer personal forgiveness in a private conversation that lasted about 20 minutes. Members of American Civil War troops posed beside a 300-pound artillery piece that suffered a serious failure in 1865. The equipment appears with its front end completely shattered after a rupture, showing the technological risks of operating heavy weapons in that conflict. The crew of a German submarine dives into the waters of the Atlantic Ocean for a moment of leisure in 1944. Amid the tension of World War II, these breaks were vital for the morale of confined sailors. The record reveals the contrast between the vessel's offensive capability and the humanity of its occupants. During the 1930s, the domestication of animals for recreation in rural areas included unusual customs. A boy poses beside a boar equipped with a saddle and reins, showing an uncommon riding practice. This type of interaction reflects traditions of rural life. Acrobat John Reynolds, known as the Human Fly, balances dangerously on chairs atop a skyscraper in New York City in 1910. These daring displays captured the public's fascination with danger and height during an era of rapid urban and architectural growth in the United States. Florida stuntman Harry Gardner, popularly known as the Human Fly, balances dangerously on the 24th floor of the Hotel McAlpin in New York in 1922. The impressive feat without safety ropes drew curious crowds who watched the climbers daring amid the skyscrapers. Construction workers operate on steel beams hundreds of feet above the ground during the building of the Empire State Building in the 1930s. Without modern safety equipment, the workers shaped the New York skyline by raising what would become the tallest structure on the planet. Soldiers say goodbye to their companions on a train platform before leaving for the battlefields of World War II. The record captures the emotional intensity of separation, with couples embracing through train car windows in a final farewell, symbolizing the impact of the conflict on civilian life. The tattoos of a French inmate from the early 20th century reveal a complex system of codes and expressions of resistance inside custodial institutions. Inscriptions like Fatalite and Pas de Chance on the man's body show the pessimism of the time, while the tattooed mustache reinforces a marginal and subversive identity. Abraham Lincoln appears among the crowd moments before delivering the Gettysburg Address in Pennsylvania. On November 19, 1813, the American president dedicated the National Cemetery to Civil War soldiers. The event strengthened principles of equality and democracy in United States history. Warriors of the Asaro tribe in Papua New Guinea used gray clay and mud masks to ward off opponents in 1970. This cultural tradition aimed to create a supernatural appearance amid dense local vegetation, turning natural elements into tools of social protection. Air defense systems were strategically positioned on the Florida coast, facing the sea during the international crisis of 1962. The record captures the contrast between civilian routine and global geopolitical tension, showing the state of alert during one of the most critical moments of the 20th century. Law enforcement officers pour bottles of drink into a sewer during Prohibition in the United States in 1929. The measure aimed to fight illegal trade and the consumption of items banned by the 18th Amendment, leading to frequent urban enforcement operations. During the intense period of attacks on the British capital, Iris Davis devoted herself to rescuing hundreds of cats trapped among the wreckage left by air raids. Armed with treats and patience, she walked through affected areas of London in 1940 to ensure the well-being of these pets. Robert Wadlow appears smiling in his custom bed in 1937 beside a friend, creating an impressive sense of scale. Known worldwide for his extraordinary height, the young man wore specially made size 37 AA shoes to support his historically unique stature. Aircraft designer Max Wiedenhoft tested his rocket-powered bicycle in Germany in 1932. The bold experiment featured a rough wing attached to the vehicle, seeking to explore new frontiers of propulsion and aerodynamics during a period of intense technical innovation in Europe. An inventor tests his rocket-propelled scooter in 1931, creating a dense cloud of smoke during the experiment. This bold prototype reflects the industrial era's fascination with speed and new frontiers in engineering. The search for futuristic transportation defined the vision of the time. The clay tablet written in cuneiform characters around 1750 BC reveals the frustration of a merchant named Nani with the practices of his supplier, Ea Nasir. The text describes the delivery of low-quality copper and the disrespectful treatment given to his messengers in ancient Babylon. A patient undergoes a therapeutic treatment considered innovative at the time, using an electric bath in 1910. The procedure combined water and electric currents to relieve pain caused by rheumatism, reflecting early 20th century medical experimentation in Europe. Karl Krull devoted his career to the study of animal intelligence in Germany, gaining attention for investigating the cognitive abilities of horses and dogs. In this parapsychology experiment, he uses insulating metal devices to test thought transmission between humans and dogs. Archaeological excavations in Ekron, in the territory of Israel, revealed a ceramic jar containing carbonized figs, estimated to be 3,100 years old. The find provides rare evidence about diet and food storage methods among ancient civilizations that lived in the Levant region. British archaeologist Howard Carter conducts a careful inspection of Tutankhamun's sarcophagus after the discovery of his intact tomb in the Valley of the Kings in 1922. The analysis of the young pharaoh's mummy revealed priceless treasures and provided key information about burial practices of Egypt's 18th dynasty. Two young men risked themselves in a daring pose on Lookout Mountain, Tennessee in 1917, showing that the desire for self-portraits in extreme situations came long before the digital age. The record captures a social behavior driven by adrenaline and the wish to be visually remembered at tourist sites. Acrobat Lillian Boyer defies heights while hanging from a rope ladder beneath a biplane in 1922 in the United States. This golden age of stunt flying turned pilots and performers into icons of courage and mass entertainment. The aerial show reflects the post-war spirit of adventure and technical innovation. Acrobats balance on steel cables above a busy New York street in 1931, drawing the attention of pedestrians and drivers. The urban spectacle captures the performers' courage during the Great Depression, offering entertainment amid hardship. The vertical city served as a stage for the impossible. London public transportation faced major challenges after the war, as shown by the incident involving the Route 72 streetcar in Woolwich. The double-decker vehicle, marked for workers, leaned dangerously against a commercial building in 1946, drawing many curious onlookers. British soldiers form a ceremonial arch with Lewis guns in 1918 to celebrate a wedding. The event takes place amid the setting of World War I, where barracks traditions were folded into civilian life. The Union symbolizes human resilience in the face of a global conflict. Pablo Picasso is portrayed in his studio in Paris in 1944, posing beside one of his Cubist works. The artist remained in the French capital throughout the German occupation, continuing his creative work even under constant surveillance and severe restrictions imposed by the context of World War II. A press worker carefully handles movable type to lay out a newspaper page in 1942. This handcrafted typesetting process was essential for spreading news during World War II, requiring extreme technical precision before the plates went to the large rotary presses of the time. Belgian driver Camille Janazzi challenged the limits of engineering on April 29, 1899, by driving the iconic La Jamais Contente. This bullet-shaped electric vehicle was the first land automobile to pass the historic mark of 62 miles per hour on a road in France. French inventor Paul Cornu made aviation history on November 13, 1907, by carrying out the first free flight of a rotary-wing aircraft. Using his knowledge as a bicycle maker, he developed a complex mechanism that allowed the prototype to lift briefly off the ground. American engineer John Walter Christie presented an impressive machine in 1907, equipped with a 1,020 cubic inch engine. This V4 race car stood out for its pioneering use of front-wheel drive, a bold technical solution meant to maximize power efficiency in speed competitions of the time. Frank Duryea poses in his motor vehicle after winning the first automobile race in the United States on November 28, 1895. The event took place in Chicago under harsh weather conditions, marking a key turning point for the American auto industry. This imposing French automobile from 1910 shows the luxurious transition from carriages to the combustion engine. With its long body and refined finish, the vehicle served the Parisian elite of the Belle Époque. Details such as side lamps and a high roof reinforce the social prestige of the time. Players compete in a polo match while riding motorcycles during an event held in California in 1919. This unusual sport adapted the rules of traditional polo to the speed of motor vehicles, drawing curious crowds to watch the riders' agility on the field. In front of the biplane named Friendship, a female aviator poses in Newfoundland in 1928, wearing a flight suit and goggles on her helmet beside the wing and landing gear. The propeller and radial engine dominate the frame, recalling the pioneering era of aviation. Her restrained smile suggests confidence before another takeoff. A milkman uses skis to travel through streets covered by a thick layer of snow in London during the harsh winter of 1962. The creative strategy allowed the essential home delivery service to keep operating even when city streets were blocked for conventional vehicles. Babies take part in a crawling race at Palisades Park in New Jersey in 1955. The recreational event had local sponsors displayed on signs at the starting gate, drawing an audience of adults and children who enjoyed the unusual competition in the United States. A street vendor selling shoelaces waits for customers on a New York sidewalk in 1910. With a basket full of goods and wearing a bowler hat, the merchant represents the small, informal jobs that kept the urban economy moving at the turn of the 20th century. Maud Odell stands out as a pioneer working in passenger transportation in New York during the 1920s. In the 1923 image, she handles the crank of an old taxi, showing the strength needed to start the engine. This female advance entered urban spaces previously restricted to men. Dancer Zorita walks calmly along a city sidewalk while leading her pet snake on a leash in 1939. The record captures the eccentricity of the burlesque performer, known for her bold performances and a lifestyle that challenged the social standards of the time. The entrance to a French circus captured in 1920 shows a surreal and extravagant style typical of traveling European entertainment. The huge cartoon-like face with antennas welcomed the public during a period of great post-war cultural energy, symbolizing the search for fantasy and playfulness. The cast of the renowned Barnum and Bailey Circus poses for a group photograph in New York City in 1924. The image brings together many performers on a stage, showing the wide variety of acts that made up traveling popular entertainment shows in the first half of the 20th century. The sailing ship Cromdale represents the end of an era in commercial navigation, as the last clipper built specifically to carry wool between Australia and the United Kingdom. In 1913, the vessel ran aground on the coast of Cornwall in heavy fog, ending its journey across the world's oceans. Passengers enjoy the spacious interior aboard a Pan Am Martin clipper during a trip in 1936. This imposing flying boat represented the height of luxury and comfort in commercial aviation at the time, allowing ocean crossings with a level of ease rarely seen in modern air travel standards. The yeoman warders pose in front of the walls of the Tower of London in 1898, wearing their ceremonial Tudor uniforms. Popularly known as beefeaters, these guards keep watch over the royal fortress and the British crown jewels in a tradition dating back to the 15th century. Double-decker streetcars and horse-drawn carriages cross Westminster Bridge in London in 1910. The scene captures the transition of urban transportation in the United Kingdom, where the Gothic architecture of Parliament forms the backdrop of a metropolis buzzing as the political center of the British Empire. The Louvre Museum in Paris witnessed visitors' fatigue in 1950. The image reveals the physical effect of long art viewing on the public of the time. Circular seating allowed strategic breaks between galleries filled with masterpieces of Western history. A health officer carefully measures the width of a narrow alley in Liverpool in 1907. This type of inspection was essential for sanitary reports of the time, which aimed to fight overcrowding and improve hygiene conditions in England's poorest urban areas. Employees of the National Museum in Krakow carry out fire prevention training in 1930 to protect the art collection. The drill shows the institution's concern with preserving large-scale historic works from possible damage, helping protect Poland's cultural heritage. A nanny drives an innovative motorized baby carriage through the streets of England in 1922. The vehicle had a motor attached to its frame to make movement easier, reflecting post-war enthusiasm for technology and the search for automation in everyday middle-class British tasks. 3 archers practiced the martial art of Kyudo in Japan in 1890 using large traditional bows. The ancient technique focuses on spiritual development and precise movement, preserving samurai-class customs during the fast modernization of the Meiji era. A Victorian-era lady uses a curious mechanized simulator in the early 20th century to improve her side-saddle riding skills. This motorized device allowed technical training without a real animal, reflecting technological innovations aimed at upper-class leisure. A woman driver operates the compact Larmar in 1946, a single-seat British microcar designed to be the narrowest car in the world. Originally created for people with limited mobility after the war, the one-person model stood out for its minimal and functional structure, able to pass through ordinary residential garden gates. A woman operates a heavy electric floor polisher during the 1950s. Showing the rise of household appliances in post-war domestic life. This period marked the spread of technologies meant to make everyday tasks easier, reflecting the ideal of modernity and convenience that transformed homes. Actors Charlie Chaplin and Carter DeHaven are recorded aboard a small motorized vehicle in front of Chaplin Studios in 1919. This relaxed moment captures 2 influential names from Hollywood's silent film era, showing the creative atmosphere and friendship among the stars who shaped the world movie industry. British cycling shows a fascinating persistence of the past on the streets of Battersea in 1934. An older man skillfully rides his high-wheel bicycle, standing against the modernity already taking hold in London. In the background, brick buildings and traffic lights mark the capital's urban transition. Authorities in Fresno County, California, installed an unusual sign in 1920 to appeal to drivers' conscience. Without active patrols, the sign asked people to respect the speed limit as a matter of honor, reflecting the challenges of road safety in the early automobile era. Alphonse Bertillon posed for his own anthropometric identification system in 1912 while consolidating the model of standardized police photography. The method used precise body measurements and front and side records to organize criminal files in France and around the world. A combined grain thresher operated by 30 horses moves across the lands of Washington in 1912. Agricultural technology of the time depended on animal power to move large machines before gasoline tractors became common, improving large-scale harvests. Mechanical creativity reached an unusual level in 1936 when competitors in Australia adapted motorcycles to recreate chariot races from antiquity. Using powerful engines to pull stylized vehicles, the event in New South Wales drew crowds fascinated by speed. Athletes take part in the hurdles event during the Paris Olympic Games in 1900. The event marked the first inclusion of women in the international competition, where competitors wore sports clothing of the time, with long skirts and long sleeves, challenging social conventions. In the village of Cognan, located in the Aosta Valley, farm life in 1959 required great physical effort from rural workers. A peasant woman is seen balancing a huge load of hay on her head, a traditional technique for moving harvests across the mountainous terrain of the Italian Alps. Soldier Hector Morgan reunites with his family after the end of the world conflict in Europe. In 1945, the home was decorated with United Kingdom flags and welcome signs to celebrate the fighters' return. The record illustrates the feeling of relief and the rebuilding of domestic life after the war. Soviet chess players face Moscow's harsh winter during the 1950s. Even covered by a thick layer of snow, the players keep their focus on the outdoor board, showing the huge popularity and cultural importance of chess in Soviet society. In a contemporary beach photo shoot, the model appears in a black and white image by Stefano Rappa, a photographer connected to fashion and editorial portraiture. The scene highlights composition, natural light, and outdoor framing. The record also shows the influence of fashion photography on current visual productions. A female worker handles an old ice leveling mechanism in 1917. Before the modern Zamboni machine was invented, maintaining skating rinks required intense manual effort to scrape surface imperfections and apply layers of water, ensuring the smoothness needed for the sport on the rink. 10,000 sailors gather at a naval base in Illinois to form a giant United States flag in 1917. The careful human formation served as an act of patriotism during World War I, demonstrating unity within the military forces. Legendary boxer Sugar Ray Robinson is captured in a relaxed and elegant moment on the streets in 1962. Considered one of the greatest boxers of all time, he shows his iconic style outside the ring, symbolizing the cultural impact and charisma that marked his career. Sigmund Freud appears beside his sons in 1916 during World War I. While the father of psychoanalysis wears his classic civilian clothing, the young men wear military uniforms of the time, showing the impact of global conflict on family life in Austria.